What are you at, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Lycos, and in this video we're going to be talking about getting tons of XP and leveling up fast in Fallout 76. Now the main thing that I do to level up fast in Fallout 76 is making sure to do lots of events. Now you want to be focusing primarily on events where you're taking out a lot of enemies. Moonshine Jamboree is a decent one. One of my favorites is Radiation Rumble. I think that you should do this one every time you see it on the map, but there are quite a few good ones. They give you varying amounts of XP, but as I said before, any event where you're taking out a lot of enemies is a good one to do. A quick and easy way to tell if it's going to be a good event or not is if there are a lot of players there doing the event. So if you see on the map that there's a bunch of players at that event, there's a good chance that it's going to be a good event for XP. Now while you're doing these events, there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind. You always want to be on a casual team because that will give you extra intelligence, and you want as much intelligence as you can get. The more intelligence you have, the more XP you're going to get. So you're going to want to use a build that has high intelligence, and there are some items that you can use like Berry Mentats that will increase your intelligence as well. Now as far as the weapons that you use for any of these events, I'd advise using a ranged weapon that can damage a lot of enemies all at once. You don't necessarily need to be doing a ton of damage because there's going to be a lot of players there, so the enemies should die super fast anyway. But you want to be doing decent damage, and you want to be doing damage to as many enemies at once as you possibly can. And if you're on a team, any enemies that they damage will give you XP as well. Now as far as your build goes, you don't really have to do anything fancy. I just like to have max intelligence for the extra XP. And you can also pick up this perk card, Inspirational, that'll give you extra XP while you're in a group. And when you're farming XP, you always want to be in a group. Other than that, the build that I'm using here is basically just my daily driver, just one that I use on a regular basis. It's nothing super overpowered or anything, but it is a pretty decent build. At lower levels, don't worry too much about your build, just focus on making the best build you can with what you got to work with. Now besides using something like Berry Mentats to increase your intelligence, there's also food that you can use to increase your XP as well. There are several foods that will give you an XP boost, but Cranberry Relish is particularly good. Now doing events is my favorite way of leveling up, but every now and then I'll farm other areas as well, like West Tech Research Center. There's a ton of super mutants here and they give some very good XP. I'm still using my shotgun build for West Tech, but any build that has max intelligence and a ton of damage will serve you well. Using a bloodied build here with unyielding armor pieces will give you the best results for farming XP, but that's not my playstyle, and bloodied builds are pretty difficult to do at low levels. Bloodied builds with unyielding armor pieces give you a ton of extra intelligence. Now when we enter the building, we're going to use all of the things that's going to boost our XP. So our Berry Mentats, or food that boosts our XP, and you can also use lunchboxes if you got them. They're very good for boosting XP as well. After we've got our experience boost going, we're just going to run through the whole building, making sure to clear out all of the super mutants. And then we'll reset it and run it again. I think that these kind of XP farms should be primarily used at higher levels, probably once you get up closer to 50 or past 50. It is a much better use of your time when you're lower level to do events and then to play through the storylines. Those are some of the best ways that I know of to level up fast in Fallout 76. I hope you guys got some useful information out of this video. Thank you all for watching, and as always, stay where you're at and I'll come where you're to. Later everyone.